Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel again. So this is another Droid video, but this time this is on my full-size R5d4. So this is one of the biggest droids that I have. It took around just over a year to complete. I got a little bit of help with it when I was building it through the electronics side, the 3D printing side of things as well, like the larger parts. But he's been on quite a few conventions now. He's coming up to a year old on the 29th of March, and you know, he's still holding up quite well. There was a few teething issues, mainly with gears, motors, things like that, and coding as well. But now with some upgrades that are now available, that's kind of, you know, that should hopefully negate the need to do any more upgrades to him. So he is a full-size 1/1 scale Astromech, so he's quite big. Apologies for the room we're in, that's the only space I have to build these in, so this is my office. So he's full-size. He runs off an Xbox 360 controller, so this is a custom one that I painted just for him, so it's the red and white, same as him. He is, you know, compared to a pit droid's about 3 foot tall. You're looking at the same size like that. He's getting a few more electronic bits put in him over the next few months, mainly the gripper arms you see at the front here, and also the doors to open, but these are actually, you know, fully movable as they are, so he's got his interface arm and thing inside that one. All that kind of stuff in there. These arms do move out and in. They are actually connected up to servos at the moment, but he's, you know, fully functioning. He's got some lights. So these are the Tim Hebel upgrades that I've done to him. So these are all resin printed, all these eye parts, and these are the bits you put inside doors to see who's outside the other side. I did do a few things wrong on him when I built him. Obviously, this being my first droid, never really kind of paid much attention to, you know, proper footage, proper images and things like that. He's 99% accurate. The only thing that I did wrong was when I was building him, because I was trying to rush it and get it done as quick as I could. I didn't realise these had to be on a certain way, so I actually had to break these back off, the parts, these actual single print parts, these bits here, so I could get the eyes right. But I didn't put the top of his dome on properly, so as you can see it's slightly off centre, and the aerial should technically be over this side. But me personally, you know, if I'm in a room with loads of people and they've got R5s and stuff and mine's on the other side, at least I know which one's mine. He's mainly 3D printed. There are a few metal components, things like the Lazy Susan, the foot drive, motors, things like that. The hoses on his feet down there, they're all metal. He has some resin printed parts as well, so mainly the greebles on his head, so his eyes, the bits in the side, those kind of bits. I'll put my lamp on so you can see a bit better. So these little bits here, these are all resin printed, because printing these with a 3D printer would have been an absolute nightmare. The same with his legs as well. The centre bits here are 3D printed. These are all 3D printed, and these are all done 3D printed resin. Same with the tubes and the little nodules on the feet. On his legs, these are all fully magnetised, so these all come off. So what these do, these help you when you're building the droid, putting it together for cons, so you can get the leg bolts put in. So there's 4 of them. The wires run alongside, in, up and through, and they go to where the electronics components are. So it's easy to put back together, so you just need to slot them into the bottom and it all clicks in place. He's got his foot shells. So these are single print foot shells that my friend Jason did for me. Multi-part ones would have been a bit of a nightmare. I think he had some issues when he did his with cracking, so he did them for me in one print. So things like the gear ring inside, the single print gear ring, that's done in one part. A few other pieces Jason done for me, like the, as I said, I've upgraded some parts in it. I've only just literally upgraded the Omni wheels this week to Vex ones, proper actual Vex Omni wheels. So they were a little bit pricey, but how much use he's getting at the moment, it's kind of one of those needs must upgrade. So when I've been taking him to conventions and things, he's been quite jittery on his front leg, so it's been quite I'll see if I can show you the old ones. I'll pop that on there. So this is his old centre foot. So this was actually my friend Jason's old one from his R2 that he had originally. Then he upgraded to Vex wheels on his front, and he gave me this one. So this has 3 wheels on it. It's a little bit bumpy when it rolls. Causes quite a bit of vibration on the front, which causes the dome to shift and move a little bit. But I've upgraded the Vex wheels on it now, and Jason printed me, he was so kind to print me the actual frame for it. So now instead of having 3 and 3, it's now got 4 and 4, and the wheels are bigger and there's a lot more surface area for him to roll on, so it should be smoother. What I'll do is I'll turn his controller on. So he runs off a 360 controller, an Xbox 360 one, so it's the Padawan system. So when you do that, that turns him on. So I'm not going to move him backwards and forwards because I don't actually have a centre leg attached, so he'll probably just end up face plant on the floor. But you've got left and right on the dome. So that spins and does a full 360. He's got sounds, so I push these buttons.
Greetings, Exalted One. I'm...
So he has like a few noises and things. He has other things that you can do. So if I push the back button there, that'll put it on autonomous mode, so his head will just move on its own. If I push the start button, that'll then activate his feet. The upgrades I'm getting for the doors and stuff, when I press the D-pad, that's what will do that part. But as I said, he is upgraded and stuff. I got my first show with him next week. On the Saturday, so luckily it's in a place where they've got like really smooth concrete flooring. So that's gonna be used as a test day for all our droids because we've all had the same upgrades put in them over the winter. And yeah, he is by far probably the most favourite thing I own. He was a very big learning process for me, so there's a lot of things that I know I can improve on if I did this again. And to be honest with you, I probably will do it again at some point, mainly redoing the dome, just to get that proper and get that right. The body is the V2 version, so it's a lot of multi-part pieces. A lot of parts didn't fit properly, mainly because I didn't really know what I was doing with the printing, and they were quite a lot of long prints, and I didn't have my print settings properly laid down. They'd probably all get done again. I've got a few parts that are cracking, mainly one of the battery boxes. I think it's this one here. This is actually starting to crack a little bit. Just from wear and tear being taken off and put on. Just got to resin that back together again. But all in all, he is, he is what he is. He does what he does. It looks like an R5. He is R5. And my friend Jason's got R2, and my other friend Tom's got Chopper. So when these 3 are together, people know what they are. I see the flaws in him everywhere, but people look at him and they know it's R4 or R5 or R2, which is, it's nice. I'd say one of the main cracks I've got at the moment is this one down here. So this has been re-resined back together, but yeah, that's a bit of a concerning one. But it's only for the skirt, so it's not really matters very much. I would like to do another one of these at some point. Just to mainly take my time a little bit more. So he was rushed quite a bit to get him ready for conventions and things. I kind of just slapped it together, did what I did, got what I could do done, and that was pretty much it. He did cost quite a lot of money. So this is the electronic side of it. So this is all things like the saber tooth, the siren, the spark fun, things like that. That's all the inside. So as I said, he did cost a fair bit to make, easily over about £2,000, probably about 2,500 over the space of a year. So that was, things like electronics. Paint was one of the most expensive things because obviously I was a bit stupid and didn't think about buying it in bulk. And what I did is just pop down to Halfords every week and bought like 3 cans for about 30 quid. Whereas if I would have bought them off eBay, I could have probably got 6 cans for about 20 quid. The paint was probably the most expensive part of the building process because, you sprayed the whole body, you got one trip, you had to sand it back, respray it again just to get it smooth. And yeah, you know, he's a great little bit of kit. He's a very good conversation starter. So if you go into conventions and things and people see you rolling in with him, everybody comes over, has a look. Same with R2, same with Chopper. Um, you know, it's a very distinct droid that everybody knows. Did a bit of airbrushing to the back, so he's got his little faulty motivator part here. And yeah, so this is R5. Hopefully you'll all see him at a convention this year at some point. I think we're at Peterborough, we're at Norwich, we're at Ipswich. I think we're doing a couple of other ones. I think Great Yarmouth as well. We're at Great Yarmouth Comic Con, and a couple of others throughout the year. And yeah, hopefully if you guys see him, come along, have a picture taken with him, you know, have a chat. You ever think about getting into 3D printing? I'm sure I can convince you to buy a printer somehow. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Here's R4, R5, and see you all at conventions.